Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right, along with my co-host, Eliot, Big E Lamba, Bills Mafia member, John Giles, and probably in the chat, Mr. Ken, Go Cowboys, Coslow.
Calm down. They beat the Commanders. Settle down.
Settle down.
Yeah, we will discuss the week that was the world of sports, primarily the NFL, which happened all today and Thursday night. We are live each and every Sunday night on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and on the blockchain, courtesy of Vim.tv. If you missed the live broadcast, our replays can be seen on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via Peak D.
So you can say apple pie.
How we doing? John's doing pretty well today.
I'm fine. I'm great.
After a little nerves to start the day, the first half at least. But the Buffalo Bills came back and beat the hated Baltimore Ravens.
I don't hate them. You hate them.
Do.
I don't hate them.
That was for me, not for you.
They're just overrated.
That was for me, not for you. 23-20. And I mean, I was feeling it for you, John, because I'm like, oh boy.
It's gonna be a
Here
long
we go.
First,
John's having an aneurysm.
I thought we were starting off with the head stuff instead of the Bills thing.
You said it didn't matter.
He doesn't. You said it didn't matter, so I went with that instead.
All right. Well, yay team.
Yay team.
Yeah, man. The first quarter was rough, dude. It looked like there was cobwebs in everyone's head. But
you mean a hangover from the Miami game?
It was a hangover from the Miami game. We exercised a few demons. You know that narrative that we can't win close games. That got shot out of the park today. Comeback, it was great. Jordan Poyer is the best safety in the league. I don't care. I will.
Right.
That is.
That was a great interception, dude.
Even with a bad
incredible.
Dude, he's got 4 interceptions in 3 games. I mean,
right.
Our defense didn't give them a point in the second half. It was 20-3, and we scored basically 20 unanswered points.
Right.
Our defense shut them down. Matt Milano is a beast. Tremaine Edmonds was a beast. Those guys had 11 and 13 tackles each or something like that. Like, it was just like, look, if there was any other quarterback in the league I'd want other than Josh, it's Lamar. Like, I don't think you can defend him.
But I kind of like Jalen Hurts myself.
Oh, yeah, Jalen's good.
He didn't have a great game today, but yeah.
Oh, my fantasy team knows he doesn't have a great game today. I just started looking at fantasy now because I'm on cloud 9. Everyone's like, "Oh, what's your fantasy team doing?" I'm like, "Dude, the Bills play. When the Bills play, I don't care about. I don't look at fantasy at all until like right now. I'm checking. You know. Anyways, yeah, man, Bills.
Well, I know the Bills defense did great because they held Mark Andrews to two catches for 15 yards.
Yep.
And
yeah, they handled Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson as much as you could handle Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And it was a very, very well executed game plan. The clock management at the end of the game was freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, at the last 2 minutes of the game, how they handled that. Yeah.
Contrast to last week.
Yeah. So all in all, dude, I mean, it was a comeback win, man.
They picked off Lamar twice. They held him to 73 yards, no touchdowns on the ground for Lamar.
Had a couple sacks too, 2 or 3 sacks.
Yeah. Well, it's also huge because way down the road, it could determine home field advantage in a playoff situation. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And since they're only going to play them once, they've already got the tiebreaker in their pocket.
Right.
Yep.
You know, and you gotta consider that Baltimore will be one of those teams that will probably be there at the end, contending for that home field advantage.
Even though they've blown 2 big leads in the past couple of weeks,
they're still be 4-0.
Dude, I said this when we were doing all these pre-season games. I was like, Baltimore is my dark horse in the AFC. Like, I could see that being an AFC final. Baltimore and Buffalo. So again, if I didn't have Josh, I'd want Lamar because I love watching that kid play.
I mean, if you didn't know any better, you'd think Kyle Shanahan was coaching them since they blew games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, it's the Greg Roman. It's the experience, man. And Ravens fans got to deal with Greg Roman. And apparently, there's a news conference tomorrow at 3. Rumors is they're going to fire that guy off into the sun. The quicker the Ravens get rid of Greg Roman, the better their offense will expand. It will expand.
You really think Greg Roman's the problem?
Well, everyone's going to say it's John Harbaugh, but I think it's Greg Roman because I know firsthand what kind of offense that guy runs. It's horrible.
See, I also think that the defense needs a little tuning up too, because they basically blew big time that game against Miami.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
letting
them go nuts in that fourth quarter after they had a 21-point lead in that quarter.
In the fourth quarter, yeah.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they let Buffalo back in the game today. And that's because the offense got stalled. You know, so I don't know. Maybe Harbaugh is getting a little too long in the tooth. You know.
Well, it's and you don't want to make excuses, but I mean, the weather was the great evening playing field. Like it was a rough weather game. The first quarter we were dropping passes everywhere. Like it was just awful.
Well, and that's what kept Jacksonville in their game today was the weather in Philly.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm saying right. Like I didn't, dude. I haven't watched a single bit of football until the past 20 minutes, other than the Buffalo game. So, it was funny. I was watching the scores on the ticker at the bottom. I was like, I wonder if these guys know that I'm not watching absolutely anything and I can't comment on anything other than the Bills game. And obviously seeing that Cleveland lost, which is always, painful for
that's
our good friend Scott.
That's another discussion we'll get into eventually.
Who'd you lose to? Atlanta?
We lost to Marcus Mariota. We lost to Marcus Mariota.
Don't hammer Mariota. He's actually doing pretty good this season.
Hey, Kenny.
He's actually holding his own, considering all the slack he takes from people like you.
Yeah. No, today's failure was on the head coach and his play calling and his situational play calling and the fact that he was going for it on fourth down when he should have taken the points.
That's the Harbaugh thing too.
Multiple occasions today, thinking he's smarter than the guy across the field from him. When in fact, he called a game today that was probably the worst game he's ever called since coming to Cleveland. So, and to give him credit, he took ownership of that. Browns lose to the Falcons 23-20, and Brissett looked like Jacoby Brissett today. He was very, very mediocre.
But you got to give also Atlanta's defense credit because they're actually not a bad defense. That AJ Terrell, that guy playing in the secondary, that dude is a monster, man. He can play some ball. And all in all, they're doing actually rather well on defense.
Well, I mean, Nick Chubb still ran for 118 yards against him and a touchdown. So I'm not
Nick Chubb's going to run against anybody.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast, man. Especially in the open field. Once he gets past you, you're through.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt had a decent game. I mean, he didn't break 100 yards, but he had a decent game.
Kareem Hunt ain't getting no kind of love.
I know.
So you're basically taking that 1-2 punch and limiting it to a 1 punch.
Yeah. Well, it was just a bad called game all around.
What happened to Thunder and Lightning?
Yeah. Well, the problem the Browns face is the next 7 weeks they face teams that are far superior than what they faced up to this point. Beginning with the Chargers next week in Cleveland. So, I'm gonna take the Robert Arnold philosophy of football. Have hopes, but expect misery, and I expect misery the next 7 weeks. So
I look at it this way: hold high hopes, but temper your expectations.
That's
The way I look
temper
at
my
it.
expectations. Yes.
Lowered expectations.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
I mean, anything can happen, and I mean, it's just unfortunate. Cleveland again today. They look like they shouldn't have been undefeated. They should have been undefeated as of last week.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That game that you said one of the worst coached games. I think that was one of the worst coached quarters or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, when they played the Jets.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, Stefanski did a great job in the first season, but his leadership has been a little sketchy since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Plus, not to mention the fact that their defensive line was decimated this week with injury. So, because Myles Garrett decided he wanted to flip his Porsche this week.
No Clowney and no Garrett. You know what I'm saying? That's rough stuff, man.
Yeah, it was rough. So I mean, the secondary had a decent day. John Johnson and Jeremiah and Osu Koromora and Jordan Elliott and Denzel Ward all had those are tackle for loss. I apologize, not interceptions. They all had a decent game. We did. I think Delpit had a pick at one point in time today as well. But I mean, Marcus Mariota was still mediocre. He was 7 of 19 for 139, no touchdown passes. Caleb Huntley had a really strong game. Patterson had a strong game, as he always does. But it is what it is. I mean, it was an ugly game. The Browns looked like crap as usual, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the season. If they win, they win. They don't. I expect it.
He's already setting himself up for losses. I love it.
Yes, we're 4 weeks into the season. We're 4 weeks into the season, and despite the fact that we're tied with the Bengals and the Ravens for first place in the division, I am tempering my expectations.
He's giving himself a safety net.
Yes,
that's basically what he's walking that tightrope, but he has a huge old safety net down below to make sure he doesn't kill himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Rethink that Porsche purchase. Yes, Ken, I agree. Myles Garrett. In case you've been ignoring the sports world, was driving along and he was doing 60 or something like that in a 45, and I believe a deer jumped out in front of him, and he swerved to avoid the deer, lost control, and flipped his Porsche with the passenger in the car. He walked away with a shoulder injury, a bicep strain, and cuts and bruises. Other than that, he was fine. So, I mean, he did not play this week because of that. He does expect to play next Sunday. So, we'll see how that goes. The big news this week, though, happened Thursday night. And I want to go there before we get to the rest of the games this week. Tua Tagovailoa, as we saw last Sunday, against the Bills, was injured during the game and was seen.
Can you say that again?
Tua, whatever. I can't say the last name.
It's Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Thank you very much, Eliot. Got up after being sacked and staggered a bit, falling down.
He wasn't sacked. He was pushed.
Well, pushed. Excuse me.
He was slammed.
He wasn't slammed. No. Like on Sunday against.
Oh, you're talking about.
You're talking Thursday. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Sunday he got pushed and hit his head on.
Sunday he got German suplexed.
Yeah.
Thursday he got German suplexed to the freaking.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'm going back to Sunday because this is when the whole problem began. Hit his head on the turf, got up, staggered, and they called it a back and neck injury, but he was able to come back in the game. Well, us layman guys and common sense
idiots, people, us Twitter doctors,
us Twitter doctors,
Miami fans were calling us. Right,
could even see that he was concussed by the way he walked or tried to walk back to the huddle.
Have you not seen games where when somebody even takes a hit to the head, they stop the game to get the guy off the field
Yes.
and put him in concussion protocol immediately? Why didn't they do that when he started staggering around the field?
I don't know.
Why did they let him back in?
Because the independent doctor made mistakes during the diagnosis and allowed him to go back in the game. That's why.
Has anybody checked the independent doctor's bank account for possible?
I don't know, but he got fired, so we don't care about him anymore.
Right, but that wasn't the Miami doctor who got fired, who has the last say on this.
Correct.
This was the independent study guy.
Correct.
So the Miami doctor okayed it.
Yeah.
So
The independent
heads need to
study guy
roll.
is the league's responsibility. Okay. The Miami doctor, who should first and foremost always take the players of his team, the team that he represents, he should take their health first and foremost, most important of all. Because honestly,
yes, Ken, we are twits. Yes.
as a team, as an ownership, as an organization, there's no way I put Tua back out on that field after what happened in the Sunday game. And there's absolutely no way that I would have put him back on a short week to play on Thursday night.
Yeah, me either. And then we come to that hit on Thursday night. I mean, like you said, he was suplexed to the ground, and the immediate reaction and what you see Tua doing is a reflex this way when there's a serious brain, a serious concussion going on. It was obvious to the broadcast team. It was obvious to everybody watching that game that he was in serious trouble at that point.
Dude, it was obvious to Stevie Wonder. Okay,
Yeah.
That this dude was in serious trouble.
Yes.
And why did it get there? Because somebody decided that the game of football was more important than man's health.
Well, and the NFL and NFLPA combined resources this week and came to decision. Apparently, they're going to come out with a decision that is going to revamp the concussion protocol, and anybody that has any disorientation during the course of the game at any point is to be pulled from the field and not allowed back in the game.
But this is what they've been doing all along. Why did it slip through in this particular case where the injury was obvious? I don't know how many times I've seen where two guys collide and the people from upstairs or from New York call and say, get that guy off the field. They stop the game before the next play.
Right.
Or even in a situation, I saw the other day in a game where they stopped it when the play had already been snapped. The play got snapped, and all of a sudden the whistle started blowing.
Was this college or was it pro?
No, it was in the pros.
Oh.
Matter of fact, the other team was about ready to score a touchdown, but they waved it off because the call from upstairs overrode the play, even though the play had already started. Okay.
I mean, I know, John, you were hot, man. On Thursday night, you were just hot.
Oh, I was pissed, and I'm the biggest Dolphins fan, obviously. No,
right.
But just it like Tua's a good dude, man, and
yeah.
You just first of all, anyone you hate seeing that, but like it was so blatant, obvious. Bills fans were just like, "Are you kidding me?" And then we knew all it was going to take was just another little tap to the head, tappy too, and what happens? So yeah, I was livid, and it wasn't like, oh look, Miami's suffering, so yay. I'm pissed off that they're saying one thing and doing the complete opposite in the NFL. And then today,
he have like a relationship with Brian Dable?
Who, Tua?
Yeah.
Well, was Brian in Alabama or wherever?
Was Brian in Alabama? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, he was a play caller in Alabama, so he might have a relationship.
He had a close relationship with Tua.
Yeah.
When he was in Alabama.
Yeah.
He was really shook up, is what they said.
Yeah. I just, dude, I don't know, man. I'm just, I can't believe this is like all the drama with CTE, all of the issues the Players Association saying they fight for this, and then you see this. It's just like today,
the Players Association should at least come in and had someone evaluate him, or get some other doctor to evaluate him during the course of the 5 days or 4 days between games to make sure
you get these independent doctors. Who are they paid by? Who are they paid by?
Concussion protocol usually takes a week to go through.
Hey, Matt.
Because they didn't put him in concussion protocol, they were able to slip him into the game on Thursday.
Yeah. Right.
Had they put him in concussion protocol from the start, he wouldn't have qualified to play.
Correct.
In the game on Thursday.
Correct.
Because concussion protocol is a process that takes longer than 4 days.
Dude, we Isaiah McKenzie got knocked out of the game in the Bills game today.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Literally. He got crunched, he got knocked head on, obviously it wasn't targeting, so defenseless receiver. I don't know what the call is, but it was pretty much as defenseless receiver as you can get.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even, it was, you're going to the locker room, you're in concussion protocol, you're not coming back in. Protecting players. That should
have been exactly what happened last Sunday, without any discussion, without any argument.
Which is why it confuses me that if they have the power enough to call down and stop a play in the middle of a play,
yes,
to get a guy off the field and into protocol, why did that not happen with Tua?
Yeah.
Because it was plain to see. I'm sorry, nobody staggers like that because of a back injury.
Yeah,
the dude fell down. He staggered and fell down.
Yeah, that ain't no back injury, man.
No.
Give me
and to go the distance to insult the intelligence of the pedestrian fan by saying so.
Yeah, you don't know anything. You're a Twitter doctor.
It's a discredit to the game, the league, and the people that play. Who makes the money for the league? The players, right?
Yeah.
Without the players, the league ain't shit. So why are you being so blasé? Why? Because it was important that Miami beat Buffalo?
Because they had to save face. Everyone and their mother knew that guy got knocked out in the Buffalo game, and he was in no position. So they just had to toe the company line, man. Nope, it was back injury. No concussion.
What a bunch of crap.
Because they were more concerned about winning that game against Buffalo than they were about their quarterback.
That was Miami's Super Bowl, man. Like, you lost because
and
the
my
Bills.
question is,
anyways, I won't get into
why was he allowed to go back on the field, and why didn't the officials in the booth who are looking out for this kind of stuff,
because that's all,
put their foot down and say, no, he's not going back in the game after what we saw on the field?
Well, they will now. Now it's if you stub your toe.
That's what the independent guy was supposed to do.
Well, now the team doctor is being given the power to override the independent neurologist or whoever the guy is, independent doctor. The team doctor has the final say.
I was dead serious when I said about greasy palms and check his bank account.
Yeah, well, and also when the two doctors disagree, the more conservative approach will be issued. Meaning, if one doctor says he needs to come out and one doctor says no, the opinion of whoever doctor says he needs to come out is going to override.
No, it's the team doctor. The team doctor gets the final say.
Yeah.
Way before this happened. You know what this reminds me of? Anyone remember watching the movie Any Given Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
James Wood plays the team doctor. And what are these guys? I'll just shoot you up with some cortisone and call it a day. You're going to keep playing. It doesn't matter. And the doctor literally says, you're going to tell these guys they're playing for their next contract they can't play? That's exactly what happens in the NFL. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
well,
not
why do you think,
player safety.
Do you think that they took the story of Any Given Sunday and pulled it out of thin air?
Right,
no.
Yeah. It's like make
they
believe,
were
like science fiction.
Exposing what happens in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just like the Will Smith, the concussion movie that he did.
That was great. I saw that movie. It was phenomenal.
They exposed the problem with the NFL and their nonchalant approach to the CTE issue.
I don't care. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Ken.
Well, that and the fact that the NFL doesn't want to pay these guys either and take care of them. But you know what, guys? Next Sunday, we'll be in front of the TV watching this game.
Well, because it's not every team. It's not every team that does this. Let's be brutally honest. Miami has a track record of being a little suspect over the past couple of years.
Well, especially after this past year or two, yes.
What you just said is no different than when people say gas prices are too high and the best way to do it is to stop buying gas. Yeah, right.
Who's gonna how are you going to get to work if you don't buy gas?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember Toronto Maple Leafs fans used to say that, oh, boycott the Leafs and they're going to make changes. Are you kidding me? They're sold out for 40 years. Season tickets are sold out for who are they? They don't need to change. There's no changing. You're still going to watch.
No.
Yeah, come on, man.
No. And as a matter of fact, the more you dig your heels in, the less they're going to change.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can't. I think this is what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be the teams, the team doctors, the coaching staff there. And I don't know if you guys saw it. There was this great piece that Ryan Clark did with Mike Tomlin this week, where they're having like a sit down and they're talking about when Clark played for him.
I love Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is phenomenal. I love the dude, man.
Dude, he was like, you took me out of the game. And Tomlin's like, yeah, I took you out of the game because that's my responsibility as your head coach to protect you because I care about you and I want you to have a career.
Yeah, he pulled him from the Denver game because of his condition. I think it wasn't it?
But that what I'm saying is that's what it's going to come down to. It's not up to the league because the league's obviously not going to do about the bottom line. The individual teams need to take this proactive stance. And I think you saw that. I don't think, I didn't see that Brian Hoyer thing today, but I saw the Isaiah McKenzie thing. I don't think that was the NFL saying, hey, go to the blue tent. I think that was the Bills coaching staff saying, go, just go and get checked. And you're out for the day.
Brian Hoyer was pulled. Brian Hoyer was pulled after experiencing a head injury, and he went back to the locker room, and he didn't come back. You know what? And that's the ultimate. That's the coach's responsibility. And Belichick did that knowing he's got a rookie 4th rounder as his backup, who's never started an NFL game in his life, comes from a Eastern Kentucky or Eastern Tennessee State or whatever the hell college he came from.
Next week when they sign Cam Newton.
Yeah, right. So I mean,
oh boy,
it's and Belichick, as much as I can't stand the man, was looking out for his player, is what he was doing. So yeah, that's just it. Yeah, no, they didn't win, John. But in case you're wondering,
so why is this guy?
I don't know. It's Smokey. Come on, what are you gonna do?
Nose, man. I love you, bro. But
yeah,
it's Smokey because he's smoking that good.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, dude, the Lions. I cheer for the Lions. I cheer for the Lions.
I love me some Dan Campbell, and he's got some.
It's the Rust Belt. I love the Rust Belt teams, man. I know the pain that you guys go through. The Lions, the Browns. I get it. I totally get it. But dude, they played Seattle, right? And wasn't it 120 points put up between the two?
Yeah, that was like a score fest going on.
Yeah, 93 points was
93.
93. And for the first time in NFL history, a game ended 48-45.
Oh, Scoregami. Very nice. Dude, that was a CFL game, man. I mean, it was just bombs after bombs.
And the Packers beat the Patriots.
That was arena.
Dude, you're 10 minutes late, man.
I know. I'm just seeing the replays on NBC. So
yeah. Crosby at the field goal.
Yeah. Crosby field goal in the OT. So that's good.
Yep.
Sickle
cell exactly, Ken.
Yes, Ken.
Yeah.
Tomlin saved his life. You are correct. Yes.
Yeah, and that was what the bit was. That's what Tomlin was like, dude. It wasn't even a question for me. It was I care about you. You're my player, and beyond that, you're my friend. So no, you're not playing tough. Deal with it. But dude, and that's the Nosey just talking about. Dude, they didn't have anybody. Swift wasn't playing. St. Brown wasn't playing. No one was playing on the Lions, and they put up all those points. Lions are no joke, man. I think the Lions in the next couple of years are going to have a squad, man.
You know what? Sure. And Jared Goff is not playing bad.
He's not bad, man. I think he's still a bridge quarterback. I think they're going to want They're gonna want
to draft one with the upcoming draft. All the quarterbacks are going to be available in the draft coming up next year. But no, Jared Goff has not played bad. He really hasn't.
I think the Lions are going to have a squad the next couple of
Matter
years.
of fact, he did well today. And one of the things that helped him today was his previous playing with Josh Reynolds and with the Rams.
Yeah.
Because
Reynolds had a couple of good catches today the connection is there. Yeah.
So that kind of helped him a lot too.
Jamal, thanks for bringing that up. Eliot and I are safe. I was out of power for 12 hours. Eliot was out for a couple of days.
39 hours.
39
no power,
hours.
No internet.
So you guys had some fun.
Being back in the dark ages.
Bro, yeah. I do my podcast with a guy who's down by your area, and we're trying to do it on Friday. He has no power, so he's out with his cell phone. Apparently all the cell phone towers were down too. So he's sitting there driving around with like his phone out of his car trying to get a signal. Dude, crazy, man.
I wasn't getting shit.
Florida, man.
39 hours, no signal, no nothing, dude. Just sitting in here.
He called me.
Every room.
He called me on Friday or something like that. He's like, dude, you got power? I was like, yeah, I got power. I got power 12 hours later. It's like, dude, I'm out. I'm in the dark ages. Calling from the dark ages here.
Stone Age.
Stone Ages. Excuse me.
Stone Ages.
We were in the dark of the Stone Ages.
Yes. Yes. Driving him freaking crazy. There were no damages to my home this time. Last time we haven't come through 5 years ago. I got a hole in my roof. There are no holes in my roof this time. Thank you very much.
I basically had the same issue that happened with Irma. I can't open my front door because it's basically jammed shut. What happens is when that wind and all that shit hits that front door, that wood expands.
Yeah.
So it's basically jammed up in the door frame. And it'll be probably a couple of weeks before I can open my front door again.
At least you have a secondary exit to the house. That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, we got the back door, and then I hooked up the generator. What was crazy is I hooked up the generator. I waited till the last minute because I didn't, I thought, well, if I could get through this, I could just take that fucker back to the store. And so then I finally hooked it up, and then the next morning I got up to re-hook it up. I got it all plugged in, filled it with gas, and as soon as I walked into the kitchen to make coffee, the fucking lights came on.
Oh boy. There you go. That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah, hats off to my neighbor Shelby. Elliot, you've met Shelby.
Yeah.
He has a generator and he hooked it up. He set it up in the back between the apartment and the fence, and allowed me to keep my refrigerator on. Yeah. So
mine is currently up for sale, by the way.
He was able to save my refrigerated food. I didn't, of course, I wasn't opening the door, so I want to make sure that everything stays as cold as possible between the time it went out and the time it came back on. But hats off to my neighbor with his generator, and he and his boy went out there. Boy, I say boy, he's 26 years old.
It was really fun.
And cleaned up the yard and cleared some brush, burned off pieces of branches and stuff in a fire pit we got out back, and the place was cleaned up within a matter of the end of Friday or end of Saturday, excuse me. It was all cleaned up. So
it was a whole lot of fun. Drinking ice cream out of the container.
Drinking ice cream out of the container. Yeah. Sorry. By the end of Thursday, they had the yard and everything cleared out pretty well. Again, we were lucky. Very blessed. Like I said, we only lost power from midnight Wednesday night until noon on Thursday, and I've had power since, and I'm just very blessed because the neighbors across the street didn't get their power back until today.
Hey, look, I missed the football game. I didn't know what the hell was going on with anything.
Yeah, he wanted me to give him updates. I guess it was because
I was basically out of touch.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Okay, and the only reason I could stay sane through the whole fucking thing is that, look, I was 16 years old when the big blackout in New York happened in 1977. There was no such fucking thing as internet and smartphones and all this bullshit. We had to fucking suck it up for days without power. You know what I'm saying? I've gone through blackouts here and in other places. But you get the generation of today that has been exposed to nothing but internet and devices and stuff like, oh my God, they want to get suicidal on you. It's like the world has come to an end, like the apocalypse has just hit because the lights went out. You know, and it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So my
That's
son
why
was in a state of
when
depression.
stuff really hits the fan, we're done as a race. I'm just hoping people lose their mind if they don't get cell signal for like 4 hours, right? We're
4
toast.
hours, try 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 4 minutes. Yeah. Dude, you sitting there refreshing Twitter, like, how come it's not loading? Man, it's not loading. What's going on? The world's coming to an end. People. Late breaking news. The Bills open as 14-point favorites next week with the Steelers coming to town.
Oh, the Steelers are terrible.
Steelers.
Speaking of the Steelers, the Kenny Pickett era began today, gentlemen.
The Kenny Pickett era began, and they got an L.
They got an L. Yes.
That wasn't on him though.
No. He did his thing. He got two, but he got a couple picks too, right?
Zach Wilson gamed out today, guys.
Deflection. One of them was a deflection where Claypool couldn't catch the ball and it deflected up, and
Claypool's hot garbage, man. Guys.
Yeah, he has turned into hot garbage. You know who's gonna surpass him is this Pickens kid.
Oh yeah, Pickens looks legit, man.
I think at some point Pickens might be the number one on that team, especially with Pickett now at quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm done with Deontay Johnson, man. He's been on my fantasy squad, and it's just pathetic, man. Just done with him, man. What did he get me? He got me 2 receptions.
What did he have? 8 that one Thursday against Cleveland?
Yeah. Yeah, he did okay last week, but this week.
But that's just it. That's just Deontay's game. He's up and down. But then again, when you got great quarterbacks, throwing you the ball.
Yeah, the Trubisky experiment, I'm guessing, is done in Pittsburgh, man. So
pretty much.
Sorry,
well,
Mitch.
To lose now.
Dude, Mitch, just come back to Buffalo, man. Just back up Josh for the rest of your career, man. Get your Super Bowls, baby.
Kenny Pickett was 10 of 13, 120 yards, but he did have 3 picks. But his first start as a rookie. So, I mean, not start, but first game as a rookie. Zach Wilson had a decent game. I mean, he was 18 of 36, 252.
He caught one too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he
caught one and did the gritty.
Did the gritty New York special. Remember when they called Foles the Philly special? They called that one the New York special.
Yeah, Zach caught one for a 2-yard touchdown. So it was.
You can't really get on Pickett too much either because he got thrust into his first start in the middle of a game.
Yep.
A game that they were basically not doing well in. All right.
I mean, their offense has been stagnant all season long.
Did you see how the crowd?
The crowd went freaking nuts, dude. The crowd went nuts.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the one guy that said, "Oh, he's been in 4 snaps and he can't do anything wrong." That's what the announcer was saying. He can do no wrong. He's only had 4 snaps in his career. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to say, hey, all right, so he threw 3 picks. What's the big deal? Give the man a start from start to finish and see what he can do then.
Put him with the first team this week in practice.
Practice with the first string team.
Practice with the first string this week and get him fully involved in the game plan and see what he can do. It's obvious that Mitchell Trubisky is not the answer in Pittsburgh. The offense has been anemic and has been ineffective.
Look, if Trubisky was all that, he would have still been.
Well, and you know what? Kenny Pickett averaged 9.2 yards a pass, whereas Trubisky was averaging 6.5. So there's your.
But that's what they were saying in preseason, that Pickett was out throwing him as far as yards per pass, and even with the touchdowns.
Right.
He was throwing more touchdowns than Trubisky.
Yeah, and this goes back, and we can bring in the friend of the show, Mr. Derek Laughlin, and small hands have nothing to do with it. Pickett's just a bet.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we'll see how it goes when Pickett starts one and see what he can do. I know he's always been the fan favorite in Pittsburgh since training camp. So
I think one of their biggest problems is that really Najee Harris ain't doing a whole lot this season.
no, Najee Harris is becoming is not as effective as they'd hoped he'd be.
He's about at Jonathan Taylor status right now.
Yeah, I mean, he had 18 carries today for 74 yards.
Everybody was touting Jonathan Taylor as the best RB in the NFL.
Oh, and there was a hang on a second.
There was a Derrick Henry sighting today.
I was going to say that was exactly where I was going. There was a Derrick Henry sighting today. He actually came back to his old self. 22 carries, 114 yards, and a touchdown. He also caught three balls for 33 yards out of the backfield.
Got one called back for holding too.
Yep. Yeah. Well, what happened was that what's his face? Drones got hurt. He got his ankle injured and was pulled from the game. And then Tyrod Taylor came in and he got injured.
And he got an injection on the sideline.
You had Saquon Barkley in the Wildcat for most of the last part of that game. I mean, Daniel Jones.
Chicago, you can win without a quarterback if you're playing the Bears. Come on.
Yeah, well, Daniel Jones did actually come back in the game with his ankle heavily taped.
Heavily.
But he couldn't do much. And the Giants still managed to walk out of there with a win today. But again, they were playing the Bears, so that's neither here nor there.
Bears.
The Bears. You've got issues of their own at quarterback and receiver and running back and yada 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 yada.
Yeah, it's like Justin Fields. What does he have like?
Justin Fields threw for 174 yards. Justin Fields threw for 174 yards with no touchdowns. He threw 22 passes, only completed half of them. So he's 50%.
Last week he did even worse. He only threw like 17 passes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's had 400 yards yet.
Yeah, he threw for almost two. I mean, he threw for almost a quarter. In fact, he did. He ran for 52 yards, which is a quarter of his passing yards. Okay.
Well, you can expect that from him because he's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, but his skills for passing, and I'm sorry, but
you know what? This guy was phenomenal in college at Ohio State. Who
was his wide receivers?
Oh yeah, Chris, Olave and all those guys.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's his receivers in Chicago? Darnell Mooney,
Trevon Wesco,
and then
St. Brown,
Equanimous, the lesser St. Brown.
Yeah,
the lesser St. Brown. Yeah,
Trevon Wesco,
Cole Kmet. Come on,
yeah,
give me a fucking break.
Yeah, he doesn't have any receivers.
Cole Kmet was going to be the stud tight end this year in fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reason that Justin Fields doesn't throw a lot is because he ain't got no fucking money to throw to.
Gotta step away for just a second, guys. I'll be right back.
What? What did he say?
I'll be right back.
Step away for just a second.
Why you shut the camera off, dude? It's like it points to the jerseys. Like, what are we gonna do? See your jersey? We already know what jerseys you got back there, man. I mean, I know they're the color of toilet paper, but I mean, used toilet paper.
Used as such.
Yeah. Poor Browns fans. Well, yeah, man. So what do we got? What's on the late one? Kansas City and
Kansas City, Tampa, and then tomorrow night is the Niners and the Rams.
Go Tampa. Go Rams. No, not Rams. I want Niners to win.
Yeah.
I'm going against Cooper Kupp and the Los Angeles defense. So, no, Browns lost. 23-20.
Browns lost.
Yeah. Let's go Brady.
Okay. Before you go any further, I heard that
Brady's going to get all his receivers back tonight too.
I heard that comment, and you complained if I use the shutter on my camera.
Well, what it doesn't
and
matter.
You told me to shut the. If you're going to go away, to use that to go away. Now that I did that, you're still complaining about it.
It's funny to me. Just like when Nosy says KC all day. Relax. Relax.
Yeah, relax. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Did I say
Go
that?
Bucks.
Ouch.
Yeah, Brady got all his weapons back, man. I hope they just
Yes.
Where it's in Tampa Bay?
Mike Evans, Julio Jones.
Good. Let's go.
Yeah, they're all
And
back.
Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin's
And
back. And they
Let's
still
go.
put your boy is still on the roster.
Mm.
And now
Cole is there. They elevated him, right?
Cole Beasley's there.
Beasley.
And
Let's
then
go
they got,
Beasley.
Beasley. Yes.
Third
Cole
and
Beasley.
Cole.
They just got Kyle Rudolph back.
Yep.
Him and
Third
Brady.
and
You
Cole.
know what I'm saying?
Hey, a big shout out to Antonio Brown too. Awesome stuff.
What a-
Keep going. Dude. Keep going, dude. You're doing great. This guy is just like this.
You are establishing your humanitarian self in a big way.
Like, you know what's crazy? After he pulls his latest stunt,
Which he exposed himself to people
in
the
Dubai.
pool.
Yeah. They showed videos of him before he got that headshot, and dude is just respectful and just talking up his quarterback and just like the perfect team player. And he got that headshot from, who was it? Pac-Man Jones or something, wasn't it? The Bengals took his head off with that hit.
Yeah.
Ever since that
No,
hit,
it
man.
was Vontez
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
Ever since that hit, man. Ever since that hit, something's been wrong with him, man.
Oh yeah, dude, he got instant CTE when he took that hit.
Instant. Oh, Antonio.
The dude is just not all there anymore. I mean, it just, he's got enough money to where he doesn't have to work again in his life, but it's just sad. He's just,
bro, I don't know, man. The lifestyle he's living, man. He's
I think he's burned through that cash pretty quick.
Burning through it, man. Like, I don't know. Who knows?
His meme is his picture of him leaving the game.
He took his shirt off and ran off the field.
Everywhere, man. Devontae, after 3 games with the Raiders, they show the picture of him.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody's just like not doing well with the team that they're with, they show the picture of Antonio Brown going through the end zone.
Dude, just
the man will never see the inside of an NFL stadium as a player the rest of his life. It's never going to happen. No one's going to sign him. No one's going to bring him in. No one's going to pull him for a tryout. I mean, the dude is just, he's out there.
Especially when he shows how much of a fucking serious head case he is. Right now.
Yeah. I mean, the dude exposed himself to people in a public pool. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Do you have any
well, I
idea
guess it's acceptable in Dubai,
Dubai, but still.
He's got money to spend, so Dubai ain't gonna say shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if he keeps spending like that, he won't have money to spend soon.
Yeah, you're in Dubai. That's like 2 good nights out in Dubai, and then I'll run you up a couple million.
Yeah,
bucks.
It's not cheap in Dubai. In case you've never been there, I've never been there either. But still,
no, I never. Dude, I mean, you don't. There's not people that are budgeting going to Dubai. I mean,
right?
You budget going on the Carnival cruises. That's where you're budgeting.
You don't sit back and try and save money to go to Dubai. You try and save money to go to a cruise, go to Hawaii maybe for a weekend.
You can't save enough money to go to Dubai if you ain't already instant millionaire. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And for the record, Hawaii is very expensive. So just letting you know.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
We have a comment. Hold on, comment on Vim, John. We got a comment on Vim.
Who's there?
It's called Opinize. I don't know. I'm unlimited. OPINIZENUTLTE, saying, "Yeah, AB has lost his mind. Unfortunately."
Yeah. Yes. Big shout out to the Hive community. You know what we got to get into, man? We got to get into these Twitter Spaces stuff, man.
Oh, by the way, was it my imagination, or did I actually see a posted advertisement for the show this week?
Yes, you did. You actually
did. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
crazy.
I was stunned. I was just like, I was taken aback. I was like,
in the group and on my timeline. Thank you very much. And on Twitter.
I was like, is this a post from my archives back in?
I know. Yeah. It's like those Twitter notifications 10 years ago, or on Facebook. You were friends with this person 5 years ago. Yeah. Yes, no.
Open Eyes Unlimited is what he calls himself.
How is the new Unlimited? I haven't talked to you since it released. How is the new one? I don't even know. I haven't. Dude,
Call of Duty, really?
I haven't played a video game in probably a year and a half now. Like,
yeah, Brett brings up a good story. Did you see JJ Watt's story today? What he put on Twitter?
Yeah, they had to shock his heart back into rhythm.
Yeah, he went into AFib on Wednesday, and they had to shock his heart back into rhythm. And he tweeted out, he found out that someone he personally knows is going to release this information, and there's going to be a story, so he wanted to put it out there. I went into AFib on Wednesday. They shocked my heart to get it back in rhythm. I'm playing today. That's it.
Let me ask Brett a question. Brett, if someone has shocked your heart, what would you do? What would you be able to do afterwards?
Just sit in my chair for like 5 or 6
JJ Watt alone. That boy's got balls. He figured out
he
his heart shocked. It still came out and played.
Correct. He played good today too.
Crying, really crying?
Yeah, Brett. He wasn't crying. He was being proactive because apparently someone was going to release personal information about his health.
Well, yeah, and that's the key. It's personal. Nobody needs to be freaking outing him like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't say crying because if he was crying, he wouldn't have come out on the field. He would have said, I can't play this week.
Correct.
Dude, the dude got his heart shot.
I'll tell you what, Brett.
Came out and played.
Tell me how you feel if someone releases your personal health information to the public. Tell me how you would feel about it. Okay, I deal with this on a daily basis. I deal in the world of what's called HIPAA. You do not talk to people about you do not release information about others' personal medical information. It's actually against the freaking law.
It's kind of like at a job. You don't discuss what your pay with anybody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be highly confidential.
Right.
Not to be advertised in any way, shape, or form.
It is actually illegal for someone to discuss or release private medical information with anybody without that person's permission. Period. Okay. So trust me, we get our company gets fined huge amounts of money if we release private health information to outside sources that without our participants' permission. So JJ Watt did exactly what he was supposed to do because someone was being an asshole and was going to release that information to the public.
Which they had no business doing.
Which they had no business doing. Okay. And he was proactive and he released it himself. So,
well, I have a medical announcement that I am addicted to the Buffalo Bills. So there you go.
Yeah, but we've known that you've had that condition for a
decade. Dude, can I ask you guys something a little outside of sports?
Absolutely.
It was a heated debate on my Facebook wall.
Oh, I know. I saw your post on Facebook. Yes. I do not wear my shoes in my own home.
Someone explain this to me. Like, you guys are American, okay? So I know it happens where you live. Like, it's such a warped way of thinking to me. I'm so confused. Why is it acceptable, if not encouraged, for Americans to wear their shoes in other people's homes? I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it.
Oh, yeah, you did post that, didn't you?
Dude, I had like 75 comments. People were like, America's got the guns, so we can do what we want. It's like,
John, I don't wear shoes in my own home. It's my own home, and I don't wear shoes in my house. I don't wear, if I'm at home, I'm either in socks or my bare feet.
No, I wear sandals, man. I can't be in my bare feet.
Well, I'm not going to be bare feet, but I got my socks on.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
See, here's the thing, though. With me, it's a medical thing. Okay.
I understand it. Diabetes.
I have neuropathy.
Circulation.
Which means that I have limited feeling in my feet. And one time, years ago, when I was still living in Tucson, my foot started hurting in ways that I couldn't understand why. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even walk anymore. Yeah. I wound up going to the doctor. My foot was infected because there was a piece of a toothpick stuck in my toe, and I never knew about it.
You didn't even feel it because of neuropathy. Yeah. I deal with that too. Like, I know
I gotta wear sandals. I gotta wear sandals.
Totally that. It's just it seems to be this culture thing, though. Like, no, I'm not even talking health issues. I'm just talking like an American thing. And people are blown away when you say, why do you wear shoes in the house? Like, why wouldn't you wear shoes in the house? You don't wear shoes in your house? Like, so weird. Anyways, it's fascinating culture. Yeah. Fascinating observation of culture, the difference between the countries. Anyways, I love America, though, even if you guys don't wear it. I was supposed to go to your country this week, but your government still doesn't want us unvaccinated peons into your country to spend our money in your economy, so.
I think it works both ways. Canada doesn't want anybody.
No, we got rid of the rules on Saturday. You can come in and go. No need for
that long anything. Ago.
That long ago. Yeah. Well, you'd think that the two countries would be on the same page so they could have the open border, right? Like, I mean, you'd think, but
yeah.
Yeah, but then that's Anyways, I was really looking forward to go to your country and spend my money with you guys, but
that didn't take long.
No, it didn't. Chiefs get a turnover and a score right away, man. Boom.
Chiefs already scored.
Yeah.
Kelsey.
2 plays.
Kelsey scored.
Yards. Yep.
2 plays, 21 yards, 42 seconds. So all it took Mahomes to score was 42 seconds.
Oh, the last guy I needed to get points. I'm playing against him in fantasy. Yeah. Unbelievable, dude.
Yep.
Oh, just awful. Dude's already got 8 points, 8.6 points.
And there's only been
45 seconds.
45 seconds left.
How was it a turnover? What was it? A fumbled punt?
I think it was a fumble on the kickoff. To be honest with you,
was
I'm
it?
not sure. Yeah.
Dude. Jeez.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not even playing against you, Nose. Why are you so excited? Why are you so excited? I'm not even playing against you, bro. He's in my division, and he's like, I'm winning my division because I'm freaking amazing.
All right. Well, you got 3 minutes left, guys. Shout out to the Packers winning in overtime. The Raiders.
Shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays for making
the playoffs. Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah. And the Yankees are in. Yeah, you won.
The Guardians winning the Central, so that's even better. Vegas getting off the schneid and beating Denver. Let's see what else.
They were the last winless team in the NFL, right?
They were, yes.
The Raiders.
And hats off to Minnesota for winning the double doink game this morning. Whereas the supposed
all they needed was 1 yard.
Yeah, game tying field goal bounced off the left upright and then bounced off the crossbar and went back into the playing field. So yeah, New Orleans loses on a double doink. On a double doink. So,
just awful, man.
Good luck tomorrow night, Eliot, with San Francisco and the Rams.
Fuck the Rams.
Fuck the Rams. Okay, well,
yeah.
Hats off to Baker Mayfield for being Baker Mayfield today. Thank you very much.
Dude, oh my gosh, what is up with Baker, bro?
Baker is Baker. Baker is Baker.
Dude,
Baker's that guy that got drafted at number 1 by Cleveland and showed out for 1 year and then came back crashing down to earth. That's Baker.
Yeah.
Ugh, just
pretty sad when Sam Darnold may be a better option than Baker Mayfield for your team.
Isn't that crazy, that draft, man? Think about it.
But he's just another one in a long line of failed Heisman Trophy winners.
Correct. You are correct, sir. All right, gentlemen, let's get out of here for one more week.
Oh, by the way, next week I will have
Eliot's going to be broadcasting from the bunker in Arizona the next 2 weeks.
The bunker.
He's going out there to partake in his son's wedding.
My son's getting married on Friday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 3 years ago, my other son got married. So
buddy.
This is going to be another visit out there. I get to see my mom, my sister, my niece, my kids, my grandkids, and anybody else that matters.
Are you going to be able to fly out, or do you got to drive, Eliot?
No, we're going to fly.
All right, good.
there was no word at all about cancellations
Good.
or anything like that. I would have gotten an email or something on it by now. Yeah, we'll be on a flight.
Because I know you were worried about having to drive because there's a flight.
Well, if they would have put out word that flights were backed up or whatever, and we weren't going to be able to make it out there, then yes, I would have jumped in my vehicle and drove across the country.
You've done it before. You lost your phone last time you did that, but that's all right.
Well, yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
I lost my phone because I wasn't driving, but
Right.
That's neither here nor
Right.
there.
All right. Well, be safe, fly safe, and we'll
absolutely.
We'll
Look,
see you from
it's like I
Arizona.
tell everybody, I'll be safe, but it's not up to me. It's up to the pilot.
Right. And then we'll we'll see you next Sunday from Arizona. Hopefully, Ken won't be coughing his ass off. He'll be on the show next week. Ken, take care of yourself and you get better. John, congratulations on your come from behind victory today for the Bills. Congratulations.
What's going to be weird is that I'll be broadcasting with you guys at 4:30 in the afternoon.
That's what John does anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's only 6:30 here.
So I'll be in the same time zone as you, or actually an hour earlier.
Yeah, you'll be in the Pacific time zone. John's in the Mountain time zone.
Yeah.
So
I'm in the mountains.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here for this week. On behalf of my Mr. Eliot Biggie Lama, Bills Mafia member John G. Olson, and Ken Go Cowboys Koslow. We will see you guys next Sunday night at 7:30
we didn't touch on that. That's too bad.
What's that?
I said we didn't touch on that, but they're talking about Prescott coming back in week 5. What do they do with Cooper Rush now that he's undefeated and seems to be?
Is there a quarterback controversy in Dallas? Stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
Well, Jerry Jones said he wouldn't mind.
I know, but it's Jerry Jones though.
Millie
Right.
Rocket.
Yeah, don't get on the plane, Elliot. Get in the plane. That's what.
Yes, absolutely. I don't hang well outside of planes.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for coming in, and we're going to be back next Sunday at 7:30. Hope you enjoyed the show.